Dear students, today we shall see the continued part of the 8th standard geometry quadrilaterals. So in the previous class we have studied about the different types of polygons and the interior, some of the interior angles and some of the exterior angles, and the kinds of the quadrilaterals. So in that we have studied the trapezium. Today we will continue the different types of or different kinds of the quadrilaterals. So that second one is kite. So you might have observed this plane figure. So this is has a four sides: AB, BC, CD, and DA. So this is also a quadrilateral. If you observe this plane figure, you have played by making such an instrument, what you call as a kite. So you prepare the kite and played it with the in the sky. So now we shall see the definition of the kite and the properties of the kite. If you observe these two figures, so kite is a type of a quadrilateral. Observe the length of the sides. If you observe the length of the sides, here AB, the length AB is equal to the side of length AD. These two are equal. And if you observe the length of side BC and CD, so these two are equal. So therefore, students, we will define kite is a special type of quadrilateral. It is a special type of quadrilateral in which the sides with the same markings in each figure are equal. So it is a special type of quadrilateral in which the sides with the same markings in each figure are equal. Same markings. That means AB is equal to AD. So here BC is equal to CD. This is also another example for the kite. Now we shall see the properties. First one, as usual, you know that it is a type of a quadrilateral. So therefore it has a four sides. It has a four sides. So second one is there are exactly two distinct consecutive pairs of sides of the length equal. So here if you observe this, the exactly two distinct consecutive pairs. So these two are equal and these two sides are equal and these two sides are equal. So therefore we can write here in figure, ABCD, the side AB is equal to side AB is equal to side AD. AB is equal to side AD. And another pair of side is side BC is equal to side BC is equal to side CD. Side BC is equal to side CD. So, and the last one, third property. The third property is common to all the types of quadrilaterals. So, which is the sum of the interior angles of the quadrilaterals. So here also kite is a type of quadrilateral or kind of a quadrilateral. So therefore equal to 360 degree. So therefore the third property is the sum of interior angles of a kite is equal to 360 degree. So this is all about the here it is a little information about the kite. So first one is kite has a 4 sides. So second property is there are exactly 2 distinct consecutive pairs of the sides of equal length. And if you observe the figure, in a figure ABCD, these two length AB is equal to AD and BC is equal to CD. And the third property is the sum of the interior angles of a kite is equal to 360 degree. Now students, we will move on to the next kind of the quadrilateral. Now students, we will see the another type of types of quadrilateral, that is parallelogram. Another type of quadrilateral, it is parallelogram. So observe these figures. So you might have seen this type of instruments or sweets. Remember when you are going to the sweet stalls or to purchase some books or any utensils. Anywhere you might have seen these type of shapes. So these are all the types of parallelograms. Windows, doors, surface of the table, etc. So now students, if you observe these figures, here it is in the first figure it is ABCD. ABCD is a quadrilateral. If you observe clearly, here the side AD is equal to side BC. Side AD is equal to side BC. It is marked as 1. It was marked as a 1, 1. So here that means these two sides are equal. And also here if you observe clearly, so it is an arrow mark is there for AB and BC, single arrow mark. So it indicates that these two lines are parallel. AB is parallel to BC. And similarly, if you observe the side AB and CD, side AB and CD, so it is marked as a 2, 2. So therefore, this side AB is equal to CD. And also if you observe the arrow mark here, it is arrow mark, 2 arrow marks are there. It indicates that these two lines AB and BC are parallel. They are parallel lines. AD is equal to BC. So here these two are the opposite sides. AD and BC are the opposite sides. And AD and BC are parallel. That means opposite sides are equal and also parallel. Similarly, another pair of sides, that is AB and CD. So these two are equal and parallel. Similarly, if you observe the second figure here, so this one side is equal to this side and these two are parallel. So these two sides are equal and these two are parallel lines. Equal and parallel. So next, observe this plane figure. So here also these two opposite sides are equal and parallel. These two opposite sides are equal and parallel. If you observe this last figure, once again, here all the sides are equal. So this figure is differ from these three figures. Here all three sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. So from this we can state the definition of the parallelogram. So parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which a pair of opposite sides are equal or opposite sides are equal and parallel. Parallelogram is a type of quadrilateral in which opposite sides are equal and parallel. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. So these are the types of parallelogram. These are the types of parallelogram. Here it is called as a parallelogram. So this is called as a rhombus. This is called as a rectangle, and this is called as a square. So we will study the next types of parallelogram. So students, observe these objects. Observe these objects. Students, observe clearly. So see here. So in this object, so this line is equal to the above line. This line is equal to this line, and also they are parallel. Similarly, these two sides or lines are equal and parallel. So if you observe this clearly, so this is a quadrilateral, so having four sides, but it is the opposite sides are equal and parallel. So these two are equal and parallel, these two are equal and parallel. So therefore it is a parallelogram. So now we shall see the another object. So if you observe this clearly, so observe this. So this is also a type of parallelogram. This is also a type of parallelogram. So here also side this will be equal to this side, and also these two sides are parallel. Similarly, this side is equal to this side. So these two sides are equal and parallel. But so here it is called as rectangle. So we shall study the property in the next types of parallelograms. But this is even though it is a parallelogram, so it is called as a rectangle. Students, now observe this object. So in this object here, if you observe the length of each side, they are equal. All the four sides are equal, but the opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. So this is also a type of a parallelogram, but this is called as a square. Now students, so observe another object. So this is, if you observe this, so observe clearly. So here it is opposite sides are, here also the opposite sides are equal and parallel. So this is also a type of parallelogram. So what you have seen, so these all plane figures you have seen in the sweet stalls. Okay, students. Now we shall write the or we will see in detail about the parallelogram, that is the sides, parallel lines, next properties of the parallelogram. Students, by the definition, so we will give the definition of parallelogram. A quadrilateral, a quadrilateral having opposite sides are equal and parallel, equal and parallel is called as a parallelogram. Is called a parallelogram. A quadrilateral having opposite sides are equal and parallel, so it is called as a parallelogram. So in the figure, we will study the parallelogram in detail. So in figure 1, we will take one figure, first figure. So in the first figure, this is the second figure. So third figure, so this is a fourth figure. So in the figure 1, first figure, according to your definition, side AD is equal to side BC. Side AD is equal to side BC. And so another pair of sides, side AB is equal to side CD. Side CD. This is one pair are equal. These one pairs are equal. So these are the opposite sides. Opposite sides. Opposite sides. So next, if you observe the arrow mark, you can write the side AD is parallel to side BC. Side AD is parallel to side BC. Similarly, side AB is parallel to side CD. AD is parallel to BC, so AB is parallel to CD. So according to the definition, therefore, here these are also opposite sides. These are also opposite sides. Therefore, we can call that ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram. So now, students, you have to be perfect in a parallelogram. That means opposite sides here AD and BC are the opposite sides. So they are equal and parallel. Similarly, the side AB and CD or BC, these two are equal and parallel. Equal and parallel. Then, if you observe these sides, AB and BC, AB and BC, so these two are called as adjacent sides. Similarly, can you tell me the next adjacent sides? BC and CD are the adjacent sides. So, once again, which are the next adjacent sides? Yes. So, CD and DA are the next adjacent sides. So, AB next, DA and AB are the adjacent sides. I think you have cleared about the adjacent sides of the parallelogram. So, AB is adjacent side to the BC. So, BC is adjacent side to the CD. CD and BA are the adjacent sides. AB and BC are adjacent sides. So, coming to what about the angles? So, if you will write that. So, AB, side AB and BC are adjacent sides. They are called as adjacent sides. That means side by side. They are the side by side. Similarly, we can write BC and CD. BC and CD are adjacent sides. So, similarly, you can write the other adjacent sides. So, now if you coming to the angles, so we know that the sum of the interior angles of a quadrilateral is equal to 360 degree. If you observe the angles, the measurement of the angles, if you measure the angles with the help of the protractor, you will get, so angle A, this angle A is equal to angle C. Angle A is equal to angle C and angle B equals to angle B. Angle E equals angle D. That means they are, if you observe these two angles, they are the opposite angles. They are the opposite angles. Now, angle B and D, if you observe these two, these are the opposite angles. Now, students, we can say that in a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. So, these two are equal because they are opposite angles. Opposite angles. These two are the opposite angles. So, opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. But if you add all the four sum of all the four angles, so it will be equal to 360 degree because it is a type of quadrilateral. So therefore, sum of four angles will be equal to 360 degree. Sum of four angles will be equal to 360 degree. So therefore, we can write the property of the parallelogram. So you have to write in your home. So first one is opposite sides are equal and parallel. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. And second property is opposite angles are equal. opposite angles are equal. Third property is the sum of all four angles of the parallelogram is equal to 360 degree. So if you are given a parallelogram, you are able to write which are the opposite sides, which are the adjacent sides, so which are the opposite angles and which are the adjacent angles. So coming to the adjacent angles, so what we have written right in the sides, so in a similar way, angle B is adjacent to the angle C. So therefore, angle B and C are the adjacent angles. Similarly, angle C and D are the adjacent angles. Angle D and A are the adjacent angles. Angle A and angle B are the adjacent angles. So, if you measure, if you add the sum of these two adjacent angles, if you add the sum of these two adjacent angles, so it must be equal 180 degree. It must be equal to 180 degree. So next one is, so the next property of the parallelogram is sum of adjacent angles equal to 180 degree. Another property is sum of opposite sides. This is the speciality of the parallelogram. Sum of opposite angles is equal to 180 degree. I think students, you have heard about the definition of the parallelogram and the properties of the parallelogram. Now students, we will solve the problem, exercise 4.3. So first problem is given a parallelogram ABCD. Complete each statement along with the definition or property used. So given a parallelogram ABCD, complete each statement along with the definition or property used. So here the diagram of parallelogram ABCD. So by seeing that parallelogram and by using the properties of the parallelogram, so we have to complete the given statement. So first one is the AD is equal to dash. So angle BCD equal to dash. So third one is measurement of angle DAB plus measurement of ME. M stands for measurement of angle CDA. Measurement of angle DAB plus measurement of angle CDA equals dash. So OC is equal dash. OC is equal to dash. Now students, if you recall the properties of the parallelogram. So in a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal and parallel. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. So that is the one property. So another property is opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. So that means angle A equals angle C, angle D equals angle B. Opposite sides are equal. Angle AB, side AB equals side BC. Side AD is equal to side BC. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. So these two are equal and parallel. These two sides equal and parallel. And opposite angles A and C are equal. D and B, angle D and B are equal. And also we know already the sum of adjacent angles. The sum of adjacent angles is equal to 180 degree, or it will be the supplementary. Sum of adjacent angles will be equal to supplementary. That means equal to 180 degree. So if you observe the line segments which you have not studied, so that means AC, the line joining the opposite vertices. The line joining the opposite vertices A and C. So this line segment AC is called as the diagonal. AC is called as diagonal. Students, so this is, we will define the diagonal as it is a line segment joining the opposite vertices. Okay, diagonal means it is a line segment joining the opposite sides. Therefore, in figure, AC is a diagonal, another diagonal is BB. So, AC and BB are the diagonals. Therefore, another property of the parallelogram is it has diagonals, two diagonals. So AC and BB. So in this point O, they intersect or they bisect each other. If you measure the length of the diagonals, diagonals are not equal, but they intersect at a point or they will bisect each other. The diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So by using these properties, we will complete the statement. So if you observe AD, so AD means it is a side. It is a side of a parallelogram. So AD is equal to BC. AD is equal to BC because it is the property? Is the opposite side. Opposite side of parallelogram. Opposite side of the parallelogram. This is the reason we have to write here. Next, if you come into the second statement, angle DCB, or you can simply write angle C. So, angle DCB. The measurement of angle DCB or angle C must be equal to angle A, or you can write it as DAB. DAB. So angle C is equal to angle A. Similarly, angle D equals angle B. Because according to the property of the parallelogram, opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Therefore, we can write DCB equals DAB. Angle DAB. Angle DAB is equal to angle DAB. So here we have to write the reason opposite angles of a parallelogram. Opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal of a parallelogram. So coming to the next statement. Third statement is M of DAB. That means measurement of angle DAB plus measurement of angle CDA. Angle DAB means this angle A. Angle. So then angle CDA. This. So the sum of of these two angles. So these two are the adjacent angles. So we know that the sum of adjacent angles E is supplementary, or it will be equal to 180 degree. So therefore we can write here as 180 degree. The reason is sum of adjacent angles of a parallelogram. Sum of adjacent angles of a parallelogram. So here we can write a symbol. So in place of writing a parallelogram in every steps, so we will write this symbol. This indicates that it is a parallelogram. Then OC, this length OC here, OC. So this will be equal OA. OC is equal to OA because so this AC is a diagonal and AB is a diagonal. These two diagonals intersect at a point or bisect each other. That means they will be divided equally. So OA equals OC. The reason is diagonals. Diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. Yes, students. So this is the first problem of the exercise 4.3. Now students, you will see the second problem. In the second problem, find the value of the unknowns in the given parallelogram. So we have to find the value of unknowns in the given parallelogram. So if you observe this parallelogram, ABCD is a parallelogram. Observe clearly. Here we have given the measurement of angles. Angle A is Z. The measurement of angle is B is 100 degree. Angle C is X degree. Angle D is Y degree. That means in this parallelogram, they given the measurement of angle B. We know the measurement of angle B is 100 degree. By using this, they are going to calculate the value of X, Y, etc. That means the angle C, angle D, angle A. So here we are going to use the property of the angle property of the parallelogram. So already we know that students, the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal, and also the adjacent angles are always supplementary. Adjacent angles are always supplementary, and the opposite side angles are equal. By using those properties, we will simplify or we will find out the value of unknown terms x, y and z. So student, we will write in a parallelogram, in the given parallelogram, this is the symbol of parallelogram ABCD. In the parallelogram ABCD, we can write angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. Angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree because these two are the adjacent angles. Sum of the adjacent angles is always supplementary. So in place of A is Z. Z plus the measurement of angle B is 100 degree. So equals 180 degree. Transfer this to the right side. You will get Z equals 180 minus 100 degree. Therefore, Z equals 80 degree. Therefore, the value of unknown term Z equals 180 degree. Z means angle A. The measurement of angle A is 180 degree. Okay, students. Now, so here, then also, now we can use the same property. Same property, adjacent angles are supplementary, or we can use the opposite angles are equal. So now we can write, therefore we can write angle A. Angle A equals angle C. Angle C. So which is equal to X. Which is equal to X, because these two, angle A is equal to angle C, because they are the opposite angles. So the value of angle A is 80 degree. 80 degree. So therefore, the value of angle C equals X equals 80 degree. 80 degree. So here we have to find out the value of X. So now, similarly, write down the angle B and angle D. Angle B and angle D. So now, angle B is equal to angle D. Is equal to angle D. So which is equal to, here it is not as Y. Y. So in the figure, now angle, the measurement of angle B is 100 degree. 100 degree. Why? The reason is these two are the opposite angles of a parallelogram. So we know that opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. So therefore, angle B equals Y equals 100 degree. Students, we have find out the unknown terms. So x equals 80 degree, y equals 100 degree, next z equals 80 degree. So got all the other three angles of the parallelogram. Students, if you add these three angles and with angle B, so 80 plus 100, 180, 180 plus 80, it is 260 plus 100, it will be equal to 360 degree. That means the sum of the four angles is equal to, always is equal to 360 degree. Students, you have to remember that from this problem, if they have given any one angle of the, if they have given the measurement of any one angle of the parallelogram, we will find out the other three angles of a parallelogram by using the angle property. So angle property is opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Here B equals D, angle A equals angle C. Another one is, second one is the sum of adjacent angles. The sum of adjacent angles of a parallelogram. That means A plus B, B plus C, C plus D, angle B plus A is always supplementary, or it must be equal to 180 degree. I think students, you have cleared about the sum of the interior angles of the parallelogram and also the opposite angles property of the parallelogram and the adjacent angle property of the parallelogram. Okay students, we will see in the next class.